Today in the show, Barcelona sells Ferran Torres to PSG and is left with no central forwards, while Simeone flatly blocks the transfer of Julian Alvarez. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest pays €40 million for Diomande, Romelu Lukaku agrees terms with Fenerbahce, and Roma submits an official request to Real for Endrick. We talk about all this and much more right now. Nottingham Forest is preparing to wrap up one of its biggest transfers, having reached a total agreement to sign 22-year-old Sporting and Ivory Coast national team central defender Ousmane Diomande. The permanent transfer sum will total €40 million, around £34.3 million sterling. Despite a strict release clause of €80 million written into the player's contract, the Portuguese club agreed to release their leader for half that figure. Via a 20% sell-on clause, part of the funds from this deal will also be received by the defender's former club, Danish side Midtjylland. The Ivorian defender is already flying out to England to undergo an in-depth medical examination and sign a 5-year contract through the summer of 2031. The transfer is a key requirement of manager Oliver Glasner, who is building the team's defensive line around a 3-center-back system. Thanks to his height and powerful physical attributes, Ousmane Diomande will form a formidable athletic defensive trio alongside Murillo and Nikola Milenkovic, while the presence of his national team teammate Ibrahim Sangare in the squad should significantly accelerate his adaptation. PSG has launched official negotiations with Barcelona regarding the transfer of 26-year-old Spanish forward Ferran Torres. The Parisian club has already informed the Catalans of a total verbal agreement with the footballer regarding personal terms on a 4- to 5-year contract. The French giant's interest in the Spaniard is shaped by several important tactical and market factors. The main driver is manager Luis Enrique, who knows the player inside out from working together in the Spain national team and values his tactical discipline, timing of runs, and massive volume of pressing work off the ball. Furthermore, a crucial role is played by the forward's absolute versatility, as he is capable of performing at a high level on both attacking flanks, operating as a central striker, or playing as a false 9, providing necessary rotation in a packed schedule. The forward enters this transfer as the author of the winning goal in the 2026 World Cup final, and at an ideal age, backed by experience performing in leading elite structures. The player personally met with sporting director Deco, expressing his firm desire to switch clubs. In turn, the Catalan giant has no intention of holding the player by force. His contract runs until the summer of 2027, and selling him for a lucrative €45 to €50 million will allow them to significantly lighten the wage bill and raise funds to register new signings. The parties are expected to close the deal in the coming days. Selling Ferran Torres to PSG creates a catastrophic situation in the forward line for Barcelona. Following the departure of Robert Lewandowski and the sale of the Spaniard, the Catalan club is left with no recognized central forwards whatsoever. The #1 target for Joan Laporta and Hansi Flick is 26-year-old Atletico Madrid Argentine forward Julian Alvarez, who has already given verbal consent to a move and declared his desire to switch clubs. Sporting director Deco personally held a meeting with the player's agent, and the Catalans stand ready to offer a fixed €100 million, including add-ons or a player exchange. However, the Madrid side flatly refuses to release their star to a direct rival, demanding a fee in the region of his release clause between €150 and €200 million. Atletico Madrid head coach Diego Simeone publicly ruled out a sale of the forward, stating,
"The club made a decision that Miguel Ángel Gilmarín clearly explained. From a sporting perspective, we are very happy to have a player like Julian Álvarez, and we will help him continue to grow and improve."
Despite the strange nature of retaining a player who seeks to leave, the Catalans are forced to explore backup options. On Deco's shortlist sits 26-year-old Serbian forward Dusan Vlahović, who became a free agent following the expiration of his deal with Juventus. Signing him for free represents the cheapest solution, though the primary hurdle remains his high wage demands of €8 million per year alongside signing on bonuses. Currently, the club is not holding direct talks with the Serb, keeping him as a backup option. Furthermore, the Catalans made an inquiry regarding João Pedro from Chelsea, but the Londoners instantly blocked any contacts. Given how dynamically and unexpectedly Barcelona is operating this transfer window, already proven by deals for Anthony Gordon, Karim Adeyemi, and hijacking Rodri from Real in the event of a total breakdown over Julian Alvarez, the club could submit an offer for a forward whose transfer nobody currently expects. As for Rodri's transfer, Barcelona harbors immense internal optimism regarding the completion of the 30-year-old defensive midfielder's move and feels confident in a successful conclusion to the deal. The Catalan club is preparing a new, improved offer for Manchester City in the amount of 60 to 70 million euros, including add-ons, as the initial bid of 45 million euros plus 5 million euros in bonuses was expectedly rejected by the English side, who demanded between 70 and 80 million euros. The turning point in negotiations was the firm stance of the Ballon d'Or winner himself. The player personally informed the English club's hierarchy that he wishes to join Barcelona exclusively, turning down options with other giants, including Real. Given that the midfielder has entered the final year of his contract and expressed a fundamental desire to switch teams, the Mancunians are leaning toward finding a financial compromise. Signing the Spaniard is critically necessary for Hansi Flick, as the holding position remained a problem area following Sergio Busquets' departure. The player fits the German manager's high press and vertical brand of football perfectly, acting as a reliable shield while unburdening the creative unit featuring Pedri, Gavi, Dani Olmo, and Fermin Lopez. Furthermore, Rodri will adapt instantly in the system due to seamless chemistry with his Spain national team partners Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi, and Pau Cubarsí. The catalyst for the haste was another severe injury to Frenkie de Jong, who damaged right knee ligaments and is sidelined virtually until the end of the year. In total, since 2019, the Dutchman has missed over 60 matches due to recurring issues, forcing management to seek a stable leader ready to deliver immediate results. Roma has submitted an official query and is launching detailed negotiations over a loan for 20-year-old Brazilian Real forward Endrick, offering the footballer full guarantees of regular playing time in Gianpiero Gasparini's system. The Italian club proposed a loan formula with an option to buy to bolster their attacking potential ahead of their Champions League campaign. However, the Madrid hierarchy flatly rejects any clauses granting purchase rights, as they view the forward as a long-term strategic asset and agree exclusively to a dry loan without additional options. The issue of pitch time became particularly acute due to extraordinary competition in the Madrid club's forward line following Vinicius Jr.'s contract extension through 2032, the presence of Kylian Mbappe, and the arrivals of Yan Diomande and Carlos Espi. The young forward's minutes will be severely restricted. Despite this, the footballer himself, who spent the past half year on loan at Lyon and performed at the 2026 World Cup, is currently set on remaining with the Whites at least until January. The forward performed well during preseason, impressing manager Jose Mourinho, and seeks to prove his ability to compete for a starting spot. At the same time, the player's representatives maintain direct contact with the Italian side. If the footballer reevaluates his rotation prospects in the coming days and gives the green light to a move, the Italian club will immediately trigger the final stage of negotiations to seal the deal. Romelu Lukaku has given his official green light to a move to Fenerbahce. The 33-year-old Belgian forward agreed personal terms on a 2-year contract with a wage of 10 million euros per year, including bonus payouts. The striker turned down attractive offers from Saudi Arabia and the American League as he seeks to remain at the highest European level and perform in continental competitions. The negotiation process between the clubs has entered a decisive phase. The player's representative, Federico Pastorello, arrived in person at Napoli's office to convince management to accept the Turkish side's improved offer. The Italian club has already made concessions, lowering its initial demands from 15 to 10 million euros while the Turkish giant is raising its opening bid from 6 million euros to a compromise 8 to 10 million euros. The Neapolitans are in a hurry to execute the sale to lighten the payroll and raise funds to finalize Gabriel Jesus' transfer from Arsenal for 20 million euros. The Istanbul club continues a massive squad overhaul, as earlier this summer, the Turkish giant completed one of its most expensive acquisitions by buying out 24-year-old English forward Mason Greenwood from Marseille for a record 39 million euros. Signing both strikers highlights management's massive ambitions to form one of the most formidable attacking duos in the Turkish Super League for successful European campaigns. Aston Villa is at the final stage of finalizing a transfer for 24-year-old Italian Atletico Madrid left-back Matteo Ruggeri. The deal is structured as 18 million euros in guaranteed fixed payment, plus 6 million euros in performance bonuses, bringing the overall financial package to 24 million euros. The footballer himself has already given consent in principle to a move to the Premier League, turning down options for a return to the Italian league from Fiorentina and Roma, and the parties are currently agreeing the final legal nuances of the personal contract. The decision to sell the Italian defender is linked to the signing of Alejandro Grimaldo from Bayer Leverkusen, due to which the player was losing guaranteed pitch time. Atletico Madrid, who acquired the defender from Atalanta in 2025 for 17 million euros, decided to lock in a profit and trim the squad. In turn, manager Unai Emery sought reinforcements for the left defensive flank following Lucas Digne's exit to PSG, so the athletic and reliable defender will provide tactical balance and competition for Ian Maatsen ahead of European fixtures.